For the love of God, I am trying to figure out what the Cowboys are doing. But, you know, I called my buddy Quincy earlier, and I told him I folded to the extent that I think. I just think the Cowboys are just trying to clear cap space to get ready for Sean Payton.
Quincy who?
Oh, no, I haven't talked to Quincy Carter. I talked to Quincy Carter about a week ago. No, my buddy Quincy.
Q,
my right-hand man, Q. You know, we talk about things like the Cowboys, and I called him up and I said, you know what, man? I think I figured it out. I think the Cowboys are just clearing space. They're dumping everybody to get ready for Sean Payton in 2023. That's where I feel.
Do you know what really is happening?
What's really happening? Please tell us, Mr. 1310 a ticket?
96.7 1310
yeah,
ticket.
okay. That's the station, right?
That's just right.
What time you guys go on? What?
We're always on.
Oh,
you know, it's a radio station. We're always on.
Somebody on right now?
Yeah.
Is there a show on right now? Or are you guys playing a replay?
Right now, we got Fox Sports right now.
Oh, okay.
Fox Sports Radio. But anyway.
So wait. You don't have anybody in the studio right now?
At nighttime? Or this time of night? No.
Yeah. Oh.
Dang, I need to shoot for that spot.
Listen. Don't worry, they won't hire you.
Listen, hey.
Too dark.
Oh wow.
Don't do that.
No. I kind of think that's true with as many applications I put in, but
don't worry about it.
I'm telling you right now, I know the real reason why we're doing this.
What's that?
The Cowboys are doing this. Stephen Jones just found out he got his inheritance by 4. He is losing money by the day. He just found out he has a new sister. That's why they're trying to save money.
Getting back to a real situation.
No, but no. The real reason is that Stephen, they are.
He's stupid. Here we go.
No, they're just financially cheap. They think that they can do this their way. They're very stubborn in their ways. Stephen Jones believes, and I halfway agree with what he's doing. In terms of
course you would.
No, in terms of trying to be reasonable with your cap space. By the way, for all the Twitter people out there, and I'm sorry, I will go to freaking war with you, and I love all you guys. The cap is real. It is not a myth. It's not real.
Hello, the Rams have something to say to you.
Yeah, no, the Rams.
So do the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
And guess what? In 2-3 years, they're going to be in hell.
Nobody cares about that.
Nobody cares. You win now.
I understand.
You
know what
now.
your problem is. You think about the future too much. You can die tomorrow.
No, listen. The future.
Jerry can die tomorrow.
The future's is gonna. My good friend. Jeff Kavanaugh of the Jeff Kavanaugh Show on YouTube. He agrees with me 100%. I'm telling you right now, it depends on how you look at it, the future or you want to with the present. And I'm telling you right now, it's great if you want to be the
organization that hasn't won in 20-something years. You want to talk to me about the future?
I'm 28.
That's what you want to talk.
I'm telling you right now, the cap is real. Go look at the Saints. Because they mismanaged their cap. That's why they went 7-9 for 3 to 4 years.
So
recently with Drew Brees in his prime.
No,
they won back in 2009.
So that's recent.
That's
recent.
That's not recent.
I saw that ring. I was 3 years old. Well,
you were 3 years old in 2009.
No, I'm saying
I was like,
the last time the Cowboys. Well, I was probably 2. I was maybe 2, turning 3 in July.
You give me a hard time. I feel like I'm that old now. I was in college.
I'm 28. It's been 26 years.
But I understand that point. And listen, but I also disagree with another thing that Steven's doing though, is that he has gone too far to the right and trying to save and be conservative on this money when you're not really doing yourself favors. I'm okay with not going to free agency and spend in an open market with random players. That's not a good way to go open your team. You go draft your players. But what I disagree with Steven is, well, when you do get your players, you do draft well. You pay your own players.
But here's the thing.
No, they don't, because they suck at negotiating. They wait till the last second. They wait till the last freaking second to
fall
negotiate.
in love with their players.
You're correct.
And then guess what they do?
They overpay because EA, look at this.
But they're paying their own players.
They're paying their own players, but they waited to. Well, you got Zeke's contract.
Yeah.
That contract is a living crap. You got Dak when you should have played him.
That's the only person who didn't hold out.
Yeah.
And you could have got him cheaper if you did it years ago.
Yes. Dak's contract, if you would have paid him when we were supposed to pay him. Now you got Coop's contract. You got DeMarcus Lawrence contract.
And DeMarcus Lawrence, by the way, remember their contract? They went toe to toe for about a year.
Damn pay cut either.
No. I'm saying this before that. I was like, remember before we franchise tagged them, we went through a whole song and dance, and then they kind of just said okay, and then they kind of ended the negotiations.
Your boy did. Your boy,
Stephen Jones,
who you beating the desk for? Oh, Steven. Oh, Steven's the
guy.
I'm not.
Steven has built this team. I'm gonna be completely honest. It's living crap.
Y'all gonna miss my guy Jerry when he's gone.
Because Stephen Jones has shown you he mismanages money so much, and he's so cheap. You watching other teams go out and win now mode. I'm sick and tired of Jerry Jones coming on after every season. I'm so disappointed, and I just want to win.
Well, my guy Jerry, listen, let me tell you something.
And then Stephen Jones said he's uttering the same thing, but you are the reason we are here. I get it. You don't play in the game, but then you go into the off season, and look what we're doing now. Yep. A load of crap.
The real thing is this.
My guy Jerry was pissed because he felt like we had everything in.
This was the year.
We had everything in line. I paid everybody. I've taken care of everybody. I got everything in line to win. And then we don't win, and I got to hear about my head coach telling me we couldn't run the fall because of our offensive line. And Jerry say, I came to you in week 1 or 2 and told you about the offensive line, and you didn't fix it. So don't come to me telling me about no offensive line. I pay you, and I pay Howdy Doody over there to figure out how to get this ball ran, and you didn't do it.
But also, it's your front office fault for the reason the ball wasn't being ran good, because you're playing Zeke on a torn PCL or whatever when he should have rested, and when Tony Pollard was averaging more yards, and I get it. I get it.
Or your front office allows your coaching staff to, let's say midway through the season, they're like, okay, well, even though Lyle Collins is back for suspension because we're having a hissy fit over what he did with the bribing thing, we're gonna bench him for about 2 games and put Terrence Steele back in, which of course messes up the continuity.
Yes.
Then of course we don't know how to decide whether or not which guard to play, so we're switching back between the 2 corners one way or another. The other guy gets to be a halfback while you get to play guard. So now your offensive line is just all jimble jambled.
But you know whose fault it is? It's always Dakota Prescott's fault. Everything is Dakota Prescott's fault.
A little bit. I'm just kidding.
No, I'm just saying. I know.
If there was a pie and I had to divvy it up, I would give him 25%.
I mean, I can give you that. But here's also, the front office. Reports came out right after the season. Stephen Jones was mad. Kellen Moore showing his hand too much. Everything was good when we was 6-1, right? Yeah. Everything was great. Your quarterback gets hurt in that game, messes up his calf. You come in Denver, comes out and say, "Hey, we know how to beat this team." Everybody says around, "No, they didn't show us a blueprint. They didn't show nobody a blueprint." And what happened? They showed them the blueprint.
Well, the biggest thing is like, because that Atlanta game, we beat the brakes off them, so I think that's why people are like, oh, it wasn't a blueprint. But look at us, we're fine. No, the problem is Kellen Moore is great at initially calling the plays, right? Everything, he's got a good game plan. The problem is he's not good at countering. In football, you have to counter. In chess, you have to counter. In war, you counter. That's what you need to do. He doesn't know how to counter. He's like, fuck, it's not working. I worked the first time, and he thinks he's going to do it again. And guess what? That's the same mentality this entire Cowboys organization has. They keep doing the same thing over and over because they think one of these days it'll work. They're that stubborn. They're like, nope, it's going to work. And I go all the way back, not to Jerry, and back to Steven. Like I've said for years now, Steven runs this team. Steven's been running this team. It's Steven's team. And the problem with Steven is at first I was this big supporter of his because I said, okay, you're not like your dad who's going to go wildcatting and going to get random players, Joey Galloway. We're going to go trade 15 picks for him. No, he was being smart with the money and not going to free agency and overpaying. But the problem is, as we've been under Steven's control now, we've seen how he doesn't know how to negotiate. He's terrible at it. Apparently, he will negotiate with you at the very last minute. If you want something from him, just keep fighting him to the very last second, then he'll give up.
Got into a shouting match with Tank's agent at the combine.
Yeah, I mean the problem is,
and then when he's negotiating, he wants to try to move the agent out the way and talk straight to the player and try to get them to sign.
And by the way, you're not your dad, okay? You may have inherited a lot of things from Jerry, but you're not Jerry. Jerry's really good at that. I'm sorry,
Steven. A lot of people say, it's the Joneses. I have come to terms with Jerry Jones may not be the big issue. It's Steven. And my issue with this is, cool, you got your defense last year because you went and picked up any, mini, mighty, mo off the streets, and they played well for you last year. They turned the defense around from the year before. Look at your offense this offseason. What you gonna do? You ain't gonna do nothing. You finna get rid of Coop, which Understandable. I mean,
I'm not a heavy.
I'm not either.
Weren't you the one who hated Cooper?
I don't hate Amari Cooper.
I understand the reasoning behind it. They want to mask it as money, but
It's because he didn't get vaccinated.
it's the vaccination. It's played a huge role. The giving up on routes and everything, but then it's also Kellen Moore has gotten Amari Cooper out the door.
He did because Gavin Dawson says it expertly over on 105.3 The Fan. You wouldn't know it because you don't work at that station. I mean, you don't listen to that station.
Guess not.
Great station. You should check it out. But anyway, he said it expertly. He said the problem is that that's why they're tagging Dalton Schultz and why they feel like Dalton Schultz is so important because Kellen Moore, when it was time to run the ball, would be like, let's just find a way to get Dalton Schultz open and get this first down real quick instead of finding a way to get Amari Cooper or run the football.
Well, the problem is, and I will say this is where you said that 25% goes to Dak.
Mm-hmm.
That as another problem. Well, I'm not saying there's, even though there was a tweet that
The checking out?
the fake tweet
Man.
with Dak and Amari, but there is some kind of contentions between them because
I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna tell you why I agree with you because you remember. I can't remember where it was. They asked Dak something about players going to Mavericks games. I don't know where. He did an interview somewhere, and they asked about it. He was like, yeah, we had a conversation about that.
Yeah.
I can't remember where it was. I wish I could figure out. I don't know if he was on the show or
Right.
something. He did a sit-down interview or something. It was right after, maybe it was a press conference.
It could have been.
It might have
I don't see Dak.
I think it was a press conference, and I think Clarence was the one who asked him.
Right.
And he said something to the figure, well, yeah, we had a conversation about that, and
Is this when Clarence got beat up on Twitter? He made a tweet or something.
no, it wasn't for that. But I remember somebody asking him. I think it was at the Star or something. It was after they had got COVID, went to the game. Something happened.
Yeah.
And I remember him talking about that. So I think he is.
But there is
he might have felt some way because they went back to the Mavericks game.
Yeah.
And
But
that's when he got fined for not having.
Here's the thing: there was somebody put there's a lot of videos if you go look out there that Mark Cooper's out there wide open and Dak Prescott.
Yeah, All Pro 22 shows a lot. Dak missed, and there was one I think in several games. If you hit him right now, Cooper's gonna catch the ball, but I can't fault Dak 100% on that because every time he's getting ready to throw the ball, he got somebody in his face.
No, and I think that the whatever the reason is,
which is why they want to keep Dalton Schultz because they understand that that's Dak's safety blanket, and Kellen Moore knows how to get Dalton Schultz to football.
So what are you gonna do now with Leo Collins being on the move now?
well, that to me is an interesting thing. I'm kind of if they can get something good, I hope they get something good for him.
A lot of people
But
feel
here's the thing.
what's the name's playing better anyway. Terrence Steele.
Well, here's the funny thing. Calvin Watkins reported this today on Twitter. He said that actually that teams were calling about Terrence Steele, about trading for Terrence Steele, which I was like, okay, go ahead, trade him. They're stupid, go for it. But the Cowboys love Terrence Steele so much that they were like,
because a lot of people feel he played better than he was
in the first 6 weeks. But if we get back
down the stretch,
everybody played horribly,
Yeah.
including Lyle and
including Tyron.
The problem is, Lyle Collins, the only reason why he's on the trade block, and this is not a front office thing, this is your coaching staff, Mike McCarthy and Joe Philbin. They're saying that they don't like him. They don't like Lyle Collins, all the way stemming back from his little bribery thing. They don't like him. They don't want him. They even tried to bench him for Terrence Steele.
And even missing coming into training camp.
Didn't he have a fight on the field?
Well, no, that's okay. But I'm talking about when he came into camp the previous year, out of shape, got hurt, missed an entire season. And then,
which you don't. That's not a way to like endear yourself to a coaching staff, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, from that on, and then you come into this season, and boom! After the first game of the season, you're suspended the next 5 games. And
but the problem is, I don't care if that's fine or not. But guess what? Who's better, Terrence Steele or Lyle Collins? I'm taking Lyle Collins every day.
I am too.
Can I tap back on the summary quick? I thought about this the other day too. You know what
Mr. Azad?
Yeah, Mr. Azad, if you don't mind, please, can I, with Amari Cooper, I wonder if the stuff he was saying on his interviews he was doing on 105.3 The Fan might have got him cut too. Because he was kind of, when he would do those interviews, he was kind of cocky and like they were asking. I think they asked him about his vaccination status, and he was just like, "Yeah, no, I'm not doing that."
That whole segment of him saying, "Well, I don't know where these people family going home to their COVID families, their kids going to school, and we don't know."
It's not even just that. I just think his interviews when he was on there, he just came off kind of.
What do y'all think about this?
Smug
with Cooper, being because you bring it up, he's being a little too vocal. And if
he was saying stuff that you probably shouldn't.
Well, somebody brought up a good point. Goes look at the last every receiver that's been too vocal. Cole Beasley, cut. Des Bryant, cut. I mean, this seems like a pattern now.
T.O. cut.
But those are good.
But if you look at it, though, this is how they do their receivers, though.
It is.
They always do receivers like
because
this.
they have an up and coming. Who was
CeeDee Lamb gonna get done the same way.
Yeah.
Because
CD the guy, he gonna speak his mind.
I know, but I'm saying, but CeeDee Lamb's gonna get done the same way. They don't value the receiver. Last person they value that receiver. It
seems like they do. They draft them well.
They draft them, and
then they don't keep them.
And they don't keep them. But the only one they value, only receiver they value was Michael Irvin.
I wouldn't say that.
They did. Michael Irvin finished his career out here.
No, they like the wide receiver positions that none of them last year. And eventually,
every wide receiver they brought in, they got rid of.
They got rid of because they opened their mouth. Dez talked about how the offense was too predictable. Cole Beasley said that he wanted the ball more and he just should have gotten paid like a top receiver. And then before that,
T.O. I mean, you just name everybody. They get rid of the top receiver. Because like you say, as soon as they get rid of them, when they got rid of T.O., they drafted Dez. Yes, they did. That next year, about another year or two, they got Dez.
They drafted Dez in 2010. They got rid of T.O. the following year after 2008. So it was about a 2-year thing. They had that special teams draft in 2009. That's what I'm saying.
But I'm saying they got him because
then after
you're right because they had the Roy Williams. We had the Roy Williams year, and then they got Dez.
And then after Dez was Michael Gallup. Then Michael Gallup was CD.
Michael Gallup keeps his mouth closed. He don't do no talking. So that's why.
You want to know why he keeps his mouth closed?
Why?
Just think about why he keeps his mouth closed.
Because he got a torn ACL?
Well, I mean, he knows the organization. He's a yes man. I believe Michael Gallup is a yes man.
I remember, Billy, but it's starting to feel like the Cowboys are just keeping the milk drinkers along here. Everybody who comes in. I mean, let's be honest here. Dak Prescott's gonna come in. He's gonna do whatever they ask him to do. He's
the franchise star.
I know he's
not gonna say
he's a leader. He's not gonna. He's like LeBron. They're not gonna get up to the podium and say, "Oh well, yeah, this dude here was messing up." In the locker room.
You know how you fix this franchise, and it's not about milk drinkers.
Get rid of Stephen Jones.
Well, that ain't happening.
I know,
but no. Well, listen. I'm telling you right now, the idea that this front office can't, it's going around Twitter a lot, which I disagree. The idea this front office can't build a team, that's not true. They've built good teams.
They can't win a Super Bowl.
They can't keep them. That's the problem. They don't keep them long enough. Have you noticed every time they've had the year, it's been 1 year after like 3 or 4 years.
It's not. They don't know how to build a contender.
2014, they had their year. Then they couldn't bid on 2015. 2016, they wasted that core for about 4 years. Then we get to 2018 playoff team, right? Build off that. 2019, Jason Garrett could do that. Guess what? We get to 2021, another team wasted. They couldn't build it.
Well, but I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why they kept those guys long, because they had their coach that they believed in.
Jason Garrett.
Yeah, they believed in him. They thought he could take him, and they had their quarterback that they felt that was going to take him there. So that's why they went all in. They were like, we're ready at this point in time.
Who went all in? Because we have yet to go all in.
I know, but now they don't believe in Mike McCarthy.
I don't think the players do either.
No, all the players do.
No, hell no.
They do. They believe in Mike McCarthy. They like the trust me.
Listen, I know you're going to say that this didn't matter, and of course it's really not his job to talk to him, but no player should get on an interview and say, I don't even talk to the head coach.
Is that Michael Parsons?
Yeah.
Michael Parsons came out and said that the team doesn't feel like a family sometimes because he only talks to like 2 or 3 people. It was during Pro Bowl week he did an interview.
Was it Super Bowl week?
Super Bowl, Pro Bowl week, one of them.
Yeah, he did an interview. He said somebody asked him something. He was like, I really just deal with Dan Quinn. I don't even talk with Mike McCarthy.
But that's essentially what head coach is doing.
I know, but still, Jason, I can guarantee you this. Jason Garrett went around and talked to everybody. There's not one person who didn't say, I didn't talk to Jason Garrett.
When Jason Garrett, remember we were told by Shard and Patrick Grading about his rise to power. He didn't talk to other defense.
Okay, I'm talking about when he became the head coach, though. He talked to everybody. There's not one person that you can go back on that team and say, I didn't talk to Jason Garrett.
I'll say this, though. Mike McCarthy.
They don't like him.
They
I don't know if they. I don't
They
think
don't like it.
But why? We're saying that because we don't like Mike McCarthy.
No,
We
they don't.
know.
You can look at what about? I told you. You tried to argue this last time when I told you there was a problem with Rick Carlisle. I said there's a problem between Luke and Rick Carlisle.
Right.
No, there is no problem.
Okay.
You can look at the team and tell. I don't see. You can see, like you'll see on the sideline, you'll see players coming over and joking.
What I'm talking about, you said that they all like Jason Garrett. When his final 2 years, we even saw
Okay,
it.
that's his final 2 years.
But you were saying that.
Okay,
they loved
I'm
him,
talking
but
about
they
earlier on in his career. Nobody had a problem with Jason
They're
Garrett.
the one, actually, if you go back early on,
You saw Jason Garrett coming up to the player, pushing on him. Yeah, let's
he
go.
pushed one player. It was either Romo or Dak.
Oh,
That's
well,
it.
you irk me sometimes. Any other time you be,
And
Jason Garrett was out there
but
getting him
you
fired.
also have the problem right now.
That's fine.
You keep this whole thing going, not communicating with your players, and a team is not feeling like a family. You're gonna start losing key pieces.
He already lost
Micah
it.
Parsons is gone after his rookie contract, and trust me,
She's saying
Trust
if
me.
you don't keep.
if you don't,
Oh, I thought you meant he was.
No.
no.
I was like,
No,
I'm saying-
I'm not worried about it. Don't worry. Jerry's gonna make him a very rich man.
I understand that
I'm sorry, Steven will.
because
Oh, you
by
got-
that
you
time,
Jerry off button.
he's got
I mean, you
Jerry's
said
like
you
80,
said
right?
4 years.
no. You said Steven's running the team, right?
I know, but
But after these
Well,
4 years,
after Micah holds out,
Oh, yeah.
Micah's gonna hold out because he's gonna get paid.
Right.
But by that time, we'll have a whole new coach. Because
Oh,
Well,
when they get Sean Payton, that's when they're gonna start going all in.
Oh,
mind you, this team is still the #1 money grossing team.
Right.
But the funny
in the
thing is that has
NFL.
nothing to do with anything.
You got AB, Antonio Brown begging.
Please don't come.
First off, let me speak.
Please don't come.
Steven, Jerry, Charlotte, Jerry Jr.,
The
whoever.
new one.
No, stop doing that.
Hey, the new kid.
Any and everybody over to the Dallas Cowboys, I urge you, please do not bring Antonio Brown to Dallas. I promise you, if he did that to Tom Brady,
Just imagine what he gonna
what
do
do
to
you
Dak.
think he's gonna do to Dak Prescott when Dak Prescott does not get him the football and
They
he's
may
wide
fight.
open? Please, I urge you that. And I just got one more thing. I want to ask another thing. I texted you and told you I was gonna do this. Mike McCarthy, please, just step down as the head coach. It's not designed for you to win.
So who's
They're
gonna be the
setting it-
interim?
I don't know. They'll figure it out.
Blizzard, Dan Quinn.
Dan Quinn, yeah, we'll put Dan Quinn in until the hold off until Sean Payton year. But please, listen to me. Look at what they're doing. They're not into it for you. They don't want you there anymore. The moves they're making tells you that
He has to win.
you can't win.
At minimum, to keep his job.
No, there is no to keep his job.
I know.
He's not. He's
I know.
gone.
I'm just saying, but we're saying at minimum he has to get to the NFC title game.
No, there is no NFC
But
title.
Realistically,
If the Cowboys somehow miraculously win this upcoming season, at least get to the NFC title game.
He still won't be enough. This roster
Okay,
this roster,
I said miraculously.
Yeah.
I said it.
hold on. If miraculously they get to the Super Bowl
he's fired.
and there's a Super Bowl winner,
If they would have won a Super Bowl this year, he still would have been fired in 2023.
Well, yeah, that I can just see that. But this year, I do think that he could keep his
EA.
You can't. You will lose the fan base. Will
EA.
riot.
This
Hold
fan
on.
base has stuck around for 26 years.
Hold
After
on.
losing, there's no
Hold on.
losing
This
that.
fan base wants Sean Payton. They want Sean Payton now.
I don't want Sean Payton.
That's just like when I told you if
I'm
Jimmy
with
Garoppolo
her.
got to the Super Bowl and
I'm with
won.
her.
I don't
That's
want
just like
Sean
when I told you
Payton.
Jimmy
Sean
Garoppolo
Payton-
got to the Super Bowl and won. You said, well, you still get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. I said, hell no, you don't get rid
What
of Jimmy
has Sean
Garoppolo.
Payton done to show you that? I mean, look at the past few years of the Saints.
He's already been here. He knows the organization.
He was. I mean, I get it, but then he's gonna come in. I get it.
Actually, DQ.
Hey, I
I
Sean.
nominate DQ to be the head coach.
I like
That's what we're
Sean,
gonna do.
but you're gonna get Sean under the Joneses. It ain't Sean under old dude from the Saints. It ain't him. Sean's gonna come in just like every other coach that came in for the Cowboys and turned into that yes man. That turned into, hey, don't show your hand too much. Pull it back.
I don't know.
Let's run old school Cowboys, slant right stuff, on power back up the middle.
The last yes man, he quit on his own. I mean, the last coach who wasn't yes man quit on his own because he's like, I can't do it no
Who?
more. Parcells. He's like, I can't do it no more. You know, I told this dude, don't bring this dude here. I got the quarterback fumbling the ball on
you leave
on the 1 yard line. I can't do it no more. I'm done. I've done all I can do here.
All I have to say is, Alexandra, please save us.
This dude here is so disrespectful. Somebody needs to say the Cowboys because we know they ain't saving for themselves.
Next.
Let's take a break real quick. Let's go above the rim. Let's just go over the NBA. Let's talk about some stuff going on over there. So let's take a break real quick. NBA above the rim right here next to DallasCenter.com.
In the opening quarter, here comes the blitz. Fake throw. Prescott hangs it.